India has performed very poorly in the medical device manufacturing space. We import more than 75%, I think even that is an underestimate, of the medical devices used in the country, which means a significant and growing quantity of valuable foreign exchange is spent on importing devices, many of which need not be imported. It's not rocket science making many of those products, and I can say that from first-hand experience because we have opened up many of the devices which are being imported at great cost and find that they're mostly empty space, quite frankly, and not really a great science also. But we have various problems in this country, and I'm just trying to allude to one or two of them. My experience as a pioneer manufacturer of medical devices developed in this country, based on know-how developed again in a national laboratory, encourages me to believe that we need to just have the confidence that we can develop many more products. But that's not enough. We also need an enabling ecosystem, one of the important elements of which is a medical community, user community ready to participate in the development and trials of these products. And a regulatory mechanism which is also, while being very mindful about the importance of being strict about regulation, should also be sufficiently flexible to enable this development process to continue and not to be interrupted. In my opinion, much more could have been done in the last 30-35 years. There is a Medical Device Regulation Act which has been incorporated into the body of regulation today. However, that still leaves a lot to be desired, and I think many young and many device developers are going to run up against these regulatory issues, which in my opinion constitutes one of the very big uncertainties and areas of risk in the medical device development ecosystem. As I mentioned, India imports the bulk of the medical devices that it uses. Conservative estimates say that around $2.5 billion worth of medical devices are made in the country today. And what is interesting is that these are made by around 900 plus registered manufacturing units. Of them, around 70 to 75 registered units are registered in Kerala, which means around 7% of the total number of registered units making medical devices is present in Kerala. But what is very interesting is more than 20% of the output by value is made by this 7%. So that says that the quality of the medical device makers in this state is on an average better than the quality of the medical device makers outside the state. And there's a reason for that. Many of these successful medical device companies which are operating in Kerala today have a significant amount of export business. Because they have an export business, they are obliged to conform to tough regulatory standards in the countries which are buying their products. So even though our regulatory system is not very effective in India today, which enables a large number of poor quality products to be sold in India and to be used in India, which is an unfortunate thing. The demands of a tough export system have ensured that many of the companies, and some of them will be familiar to you. One is my own company, Thermo Penball Limited, which is the world's largest single location maker of blood bag systems today. If you take SFO Technologies in Kakinad here, it is one of India's largest makers and exporters of high-tech medical imaging equipment, ultrasound imaging equipment or other imaging equipment made under contract for world leaders like Philips of Holland and GE of the US. Then you have a company like Agape Diagnostics, which is India's, by market share, leading in vitro diagnostic test kit maker, just outside Cochin. I just heard yesterday that the headcount in their fourth factory, or if they take all four factories together, headcount has just exceeded 1,000. I was an independent director on that company a few years ago when the headcount was just 300. So in 5 years, that company has grown from a headcount of 300 to 1,000. That's the rate of growth of good quality medical device companies. India's largest and one of Asia's largest in vitro, dental implantables and prosthetic devices maker is Dent Care in Muatupuzha, which employs more than 2,000 young people. So I think you have here a very good ecosystem which has grown over the years. And why I mentioned that is, of course, as a person from Kerala, I'm trying to promote Kerala, but I'm not trying to say that medical devices can be made only here. Medical device manufacturing requires an ecosystem. And that ecosystem means there must be academic institutions which have research programs which feed into the device development. They must have testing facilities, test labs, etc., where prototype development, device validation, etc., can be done by labs which are equipped to and have the credibility, whose certification will be accepted by others. You need that. Then you need a very active medical community, practitioner community, who are actively working with hospitals, who should be prepared to participate in clinical trials. That's very important. See, because it's very easy for a medical community to say, we will consider your product provided it goes through all the test devices. But that's like, it's a chicken and egg problem. How do you, because I faced that problem, I know. Everywhere I went with the first batch of blood bags, 35, 40 years ago, people used to say, show me a user certificate from another government hospital. So I used to think, how do I do that? Somebody has to use the device in the first place. On many of those grounds, things haven't changed much. But I think there is change which is happening. And what is encouraging is that many device development efforts which are happening in research institutions, education institutions, and in industry, I come to hear about it, and I realize that the ability is there, the need is there, the capability is there. Now what we need is for the elements of the ecosystem to come together to become a nurturing ecosystem so that all these can burst into bloom and we can have the... So I'm also particularly happy when I saw in the list, but I don't see Dr. Shahir Shah here now. Dr. Shahir Shah is the medical superintendent of the district hospital here in Ernakulam, which is a public hospital, NABH certified public hospital. If there's those, even from within the state, I wonder how many of you have gone and seen this product. Fully compliant NABH certified hospital. One of the largest hospitals you are likely to see in very crowded facility, but which are kept very well, very nicely. Dr. Shahir Shah is the director of that. And he is a man who has made a name for himself at whichever hospital he has been posted, because he is like a man with a Midas touch. He's able to go to a taluk hospital, and in less than a year he transforms that into the best hospital in that town. That's what he did in Punalur Taluk Hospital, and there's a lot of stories about Shahir Shah. I was very happy for some reason when I went to the district hospital here, the district general hospital, and I met him and I realized he's there. So we need people like Shahir Shah, people like him who are always looking for ways of reducing cost of treatment, cost of healthcare, etc. And one of the biggest sources of high cost of healthcare in India is the imported cost of imported devices, which are extremely expensive and thereby which restrict the use of many of these devices. So I'm really glad to have participated, to be able to participate in this function. The key word here is innovation, because most device development, please remember, is always embedded in a social and user context. If the devices are developed for a Western developed world environment, it is the needs of that environment which are being addressed by that design solution which is happening. So therefore, I think it's very important that we have design development and innovation happening here, because that will respond to the challenges and constraints under which our medical community and our people are forced to operate in this country. So that's why innovation is needed. Because many of us may have this doubt in our mind, why should we reinvent the wheel? After all, the Westerners have done us a favor and developed their product. So why should we do it all over again? But every product, if you see, there is a need for not re-engineering the product. It is for developing an entirely different product which is more suited for our requirements here. So I take this opportunity to wish this very important gathering and this very important event all success. And thank you so much for inviting me to be part of it. Thank you.